Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. There are many avenues to undermining and destroying the Republic, and by extension, severely damaging the Church, whose natural law teachings are the Republic's foundations. You can, of course, flood nearly 10 million illegal aliens into the country, a number whose total now exceeds the population of 41 states. From the Communist Democrats' point of view, check. You can also do everything you can to think of to weaken the strongest economy in history, an economy that has been built on energy mainly derived from fossil fuels, oil and coal to be specific. A step-by-step process would first include making oil and coal the bad guy, the boogeyman, needing to be done away with. The reason? Well, they're destroying the climate, and they're bringing about apocalyptic changes in the environment. This mantra has been screamed at the top of their lungs for 40 years now through the media and universities. That is now accepted by the public as a fact. But it's not a fact. It's not true. Nonetheless, the communist propaganda is relentless. Just a couple of months ago, former New York City mayor and billionaire at large Michael Bloomberg announced he is donating another $500 million, that's $500 million, in his words, to finish the job on coal. That's a quote. This follows approximately on the $500 million, $500 million, he's already directed into the effort in the last couple of years. This is all part of a much larger effort by Marxists in D.C. as well as corporate boardrooms around America to transition the country from fossil fuels to so-called renewable energy sources, so-called, of wind and solar power to feed the electric grid. What they don't tell you is there is nowhere near enough capacity with those sources to keep the lights on. Literally, just ask people who live in California. And the push, for example, for electric vehicles, which appears to be falling flat, would only add to an already overtaxed system. Remember just last year when California governor and, of course, phony Catholic Gavin Newsom was cheering a new state law making all new vehicle sales in that state be just electric vehicles. And then, months later, said the strain on the state's existing electric grid was too great, and then regulated how and when, get this, drum roll please, electric vehicles would be charged up. So you have to buy one, and then you can't charge it up. If the strain is too great when only a small percentage of vehicles are drawing down California's power grid, how on earth will it stand up to 14 million cars plugged into it? That's nuts, and that's how many registered cars there are in California. Here's the deal. All these claims and supposed solutions are all bogus. Man isn't destroying the environment and creating massive climate change. Solar flares are. Undersea volcanoes are, not to mention above the ocean volcanoes, to name just two major causes. And here's the point. As they always have. But like they always do, the communists find something, anything, to push a lie that benefits their agenda and then use the media and academia to broadcast the lie far and wide so that people can be prepped to believe the lie and then go along with the resulting laws and policies and government regulations, all of which have the single goal of destabilizing the economy to undermine the Republic. And this is why the leftists over at the U.S. Bishops' Conference are dirty, rotten players in all of this environmental alarmism. It's all fake. Going all the way back to 2001, they've been the biggest religious body in America pushing climate change is caused by man. It's a lie. They back communist Democrats' initiatives, policies, and agendas based on a lie. Within the USCCB itself, there are multiple groups they sponsor and they fund, which also pretend to be goody two-shoes, saving the earth, the whales, and the spotted owl, and disguising it as all somehow part of the gospel, while at the same time they express no meaningful concern and toss almost no money behind the effort to save babies from abortion. The climate change is caused by man lie is just that, a lie propagated by enemies of the church, both within and without the church, as well as enemies of the Republic. To help expose these errors, Church Militant is once again happy to organize our Deposit of Faith Coalition members in sponsoring another press conference for politically conservative media so they can understand the connection here. Presenting to the media on Tuesday, November 4th, 1 week, which will be at the Four Seasons Hotel in Baltimore. During the bishop's annual meeting will be a number of the most highly respected experts ever assembled. John Clauser, the 2022 Nobel Prize winner in physics, who will debunk the phony science behind all of this. Mark Morano, producer, writer, and former investigative reporter for Rush Limbaugh, who will blow the lid off the plot to collapse America's energy, transportation, and food supply. And Alex Newman, award-winning international journalist who has covered this topic and the misinformation from the left about it for years now. Think Greta Thunberg and the media canonization of her. And of course, yours truly, I'm going to be presenting as well. I'll be presenting on the hierarchy's complicity in all of this. The press conference is going to be available for all of you, every single one of you at home to watch live beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on November 14th. Again, that's Tuesday, a week today. Please tell everyone you know, spread the word. Church Militant is leading the charge, hands down, with our Deposit of Faith Coalition in trying to roll back at least the funding the bishops get in all of this unethical activity. It is unethical, be it immigration or, in this particular case, environmental alarmism based on phony garbage science. As you know, we were in D.C. last month on the Hill interviewing congressmen who have had it with the America Last agenda, supported by the U.S. bishops, heck, supported, promoted by them, advanced by them. And now, once again, we're taking the fight right to the bishop's doorstep. As the bishops meet and plot in the Marriott, directly across the street, and I mean directly across, at the exact same time, we're going to be broadcasting their lies with a Nobel Prize winner and respected journalist experts in all of this. So we'd like to make an appeal to you, please, to help us pay for all of this. It is extremely costly to travel the crew there, get all the equipment there, set it all up, rent the facilities, bring in the speakers, as well, of course, of all the many weeks of background research and planning and man hours we've already put into all of this, getting in touch with the various media outfits, spending time on the phone talking to them, getting all of that set up. It's a big, heavy lift, and the hard part hasn't even begun yet. The last press conference we sponsored in July in D.C., well, that garnered more than 25 million media impressions as outlet after outlet kept publishing info. They're still doing it today. From the press event, even Steve Bannon and InfoWars picked it all up, like Stu Peters picked up our work on the Hill a couple weeks back. Staffers in Congress told us that was extremely helpful for them in pitching their legislation to simply cut off the funding for the bishops and other religious left groups. Well, so here we go again. Cut off all funding for all of them, every bit of it, every last dime, whatever policy of the communists that they are pushing, immigration or climate or whatever. So please click on that donate button just below us here and be the heroes, the impetus in launching another broadside against this corruption. Fight back. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.